Prominent state lawmaker calls it, quote, a collision course ready to explode. He's referring to the amount of red ink in next year's state budget.
Does not look good. While Governor Malloy was in Washington today, the state's two top numbers guys gave lawmakers bleak budget news that could result in cuts twice as deep as the ones already made this year. Our chief political correspondent Mark Davis just back from the hearing at the Capitol. He is live now with this ugly news. Mark.
Yeah, hi, Darren and Ann. Good evening, everyone from the Hartford newsroom. As I'm sure you know, as we've been reporting all along, more than 2,000 state jobs have been cut, social programs have been slashed, but apparently it is not nearly enough.
It's going to be twice the amount that we did last year because the population or the pot that we're going to be reducing is a lot smaller.
It's a collision course with, like a train wreck. It's going to happen. It's just a question of when.
Those were some of the conclusions after the state's top two budget gurus painted the grim picture of the budget challenges next year for lawmakers and the governor. About half of the $1.25 billion in red ink facing state government are expenses that can't be cut, bills that must be paid.
There's very little we can do. We have a contractual, legally enforceable right, commitment to make payments to existing retirees.
That bill that must be paid is not for any current state employee pensions, but for the approximately 30,000 state employees that are already retired and have state guaranteed pension promises that were never funded in the past. Plus for thousands of retired public school teachers that have the same legally binding pension promise. That means the $1 billion in spending cuts must come from just half of the state's expenses. And that's not all. The rich in Connecticut are not getting richer, so they're paying less and less in taxes.
The top 50 taxpayers alone lost $2.9 billion in income, which translates into a state budget revenue loss of $217 million last year.
We cannot ignore any options that are out there now that can bring revenues to the state of Connecticut because we cannot eliminate services and expect the state to thrive.
Let me repeat word for word what Representative Walker just said there. Can't ignore any options that are out there that can bring revenues to the state. As you know, Governor Malloy has already said that he plans to propose some sort of change in the tax structure. The biggest way the state can raise revenue is with taxes. Live from the Hartford newsroom, Mark Davis, News 8.